received this letter from Spain, and I love this. Dear Lassie Lou Ahern, my name is Marcos Dios. I'm 20 years old, from Spain, and I'm studying film production. I decided to write to you this letter to express my huge admiration of your life as a talented and beautiful actress, and especially as an adorable child actress. Some days ago, I decided to watch a movie named Uncle Tom's Cabin from 1927. You were the child actress who portrayed the character of Little Harry. I really liked it, especially for the acting of the child. I was very surprised and impressed. One day, my dad got a call from my agent and said, Fred, have you heard anything about Uncle Tom's Cabin? They've got the biggest child role for Eliza's son, Little Harry. And they've been interviewing boys for weeks. They have not found one yet. Why don't you take Lassie down to Los Angeles and get her a little suit and have her use your name, but to have her be Fred. I was nervous going over because saying a different name and all of that, you know what I mean? I went in and they said, well, hello there, young man. And I said, hello. And he said something, have you heard anything about, or do you know anything about Uncle Tom's Cabin? I said, no. He said, well, we're making this big picture, and we need a little boy that can do a lot of things, because sometimes it's happy times, and sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's very sad because they're going to steal this child away from his mother. Could you cry on camera? I smiled and I turned around like that. And then I turned around and I held my hands out to Mrs. Fisher. I didn't do it to him. And I, Mommy, help me, oh. And I just cried and went on like that. And Mrs. Fisher got up and she picked me up and she says, she looked at him and said, look what you did. And he looked at her, he says, what have we been doing here for weeks and weeks? She took me over and she sat me in her lap and he swirled around and looked at me. He says, come here. And I walked over then to him and he put me up in my lap. He says, you're not a boy, are you? And I looked at him right in the eye and I said, no. And so he says, well, wait a minute. Set me down, got up, walked to the door, opened it, stuck his head out, and said, thank you all for coming, but I found my little Harry. From my point of view, in Uncle Tom's Cabin, you literally steal all the attention of the scenes you are in. It is incredible to see how versatile you were, doing unforgettable scenes like the one when you were dancing, or the emotional one when you were crying and imploring to go back to your mother. You know the dance that I did on Uncle Tom's Cabin? Several times people have asked me, who choreographed that dance for me? And all of a sudden I looked at myself and said, Lassie Lou, you choreographed it. I honestly did. One thing that I did that gave the idea of how that should go was I went with the director, and you just see them, how they dance. And they did a lot of facial things with his face and everything. Mm-hmm. And that's why I did crazy things with my face, mimicking them. I threw some acrobatics in, they didn't have that. But I threw some of those in, and then I did this leg stuff, mm-hmm. and tried to look. So what I got was the theme of that. I got the idea of what they look like. There was no way I what steps they were doing. I mean, it wasn't anything particular, just lifting their legs and going around like that. I had to make it a little more uh, structured. So, but oh boy, were they happy when I got finished. They all, with a successful and wide career that started since being only a child at a very young age, doing many films and working with some of the best artists in the industry, surely your life is full of stories and experiences. And it would be wonderful having a conversation or interviewing you. Without a doubt, your contribution and all what you have done in the history will remain forever. All the best, Marcus.